Space, the final frontier, a universe of possibilities urging people to explore and discover. For more than 300 years, humankind has reached out to their celestial neighbors, encountering friends and adversaries as countless as the stars. But there is ever more to discover, and we must boldly chase that knowledge. Those friendships, testing our values, our abilities, and our very souls, wherever they may take us. These are the voyages of the starship Faraday.
You're listening to Faraday, a Star Trek tabletop podcast. We are part of the Tricorder Transmissions podcast network. I'm your host and game master, Felicity Quartz Pickens. Today's episode, The Last Light, features
Shashank Avaru as Captain Varun Rai,
Colleen Coast playing Commander Kekzi Bay,
Victoria Birdseye, and I'm a guest.
Captain's Log, Stardate 56703.8. While en route to the Tau Ceti system to pick up some new officers, the Faraday was tasked with the straightforward mission of sending a shuttle with a computer expert and our chief science officer to the planet Memory Alpha, central library for the entirety of the Federation. At long last, a wing had been built to house the bio-neural gel packs used on starships like the Faraday and the Voyager in order to expand the station's processing power. The engineers on Memory Alpha are experienced, but seem to be having some kinds of problems with the binaural computer systems behaving irregularly. We arrived 2 days ago, and while investigating the cause of the computer problems, it seems that our computer expert, a Cardassian woman named Heba Zuhat, and our crewman, Ensign Kiret, were killed. Their bodies found charred on the computer room floor. We are meeting with the head of the Memory Alpha facility to discuss our next steps, and we earnestly await the results of the deceased's autopsies.
Awesome. So there are two directives for every mission. The first directive is the prime directive: do not interfere with the advancement of less developed technologies. That's not really going to work for this, but it's there. You guys still have to adhere to it. You guys are on Memory Alpha. The second directive that you guys have is ensure that the bio-neural computer wing of Memory Alpha is in full operation. That was your task from Starfleet before all of this began. You guys find yourselves in Commissioner David Goodman's office. This guy runs the station here on Memory Alpha. The commissioner's office is set in a modest-sized white-walled room with a large window that looks out over an open-floor library and study area. The commissioner's desk is no larger than it needs to be, with a short stack of pads on hand and a direct interface available on the opposite side. The commissioner keeps a mid-23rd century communicator on his desktop, the kind that flips open, by the computer interface. There are two chairs and a love seat in the room as well, and while they're not especially comfortable, they're not exactly uncomfortable either, sort of in between. Commissioner Goodman is wearing comfortable professional attire, and he has short gray hair. He paces anxiously back and forth in front of the window. When he stops to speak, he squeezes the back of his own desk chair so tightly that his knuckles turn white. Sitting pensively on the love seat is Deputy Lauren Scoff, a middle-aged Tellarite who is shaking their head slowly and saying very little. Their eyes look deeply haunted, and they stutter when they do speak. Scoff has long brown hair that's tied up into a bun above the back of their head, and they wear the gold-colored jumpsuit of Memory Alpha's station security team. So you guys can take a moment to sort of establish where your characters are in the room, describe your characters, what they look like, how are they reacting to this. We're picking up basically, you guys have been told the situation, so you know what it is, and you're just waiting. You need to get leads on who did what, who murdered these people, basically. And you have all of your Starfleet skills to help you solve this mystery?
Varun Rai is 39. He's without bragging too much, he's a very attractive, tall gentleman of the Asian descent, and he is standing by the window looking out. He's silent, he's stoic. It's not his first murder. He's certain this won't be his last. So he's at this point he's just waiting and ruminating.
Very grim.
Blue. Not like the feeling, but the actual color. So I am likely to be just sort of trying to feel the room. So I might be kind of concentrating on the person who looks extraordinarily agitated. And I'm not exactly sure, I'm sure I'm all the way inside the room.
Yeah.
That's about what I'm sure of.
Okay, sure. So your telepathic abilities are not voluntary, they're involuntary. So you can sense that the commissioner is extremely anxious. He's very frustrated with the chief security officer for the station, who is notably absent. Even Lauren Scoff, Deputy Scoff, who's sitting on the love seat, is anxious about the fact that the chief security officer isn't here. In fact, your telepathy indicates to you that Scoff is actually intimidated by the size and presence of Varun Rai. The fact that he's so stoic and quiet it unsettles him. He's never seen a murder on Memory Alpha before. This is a very peaceful place. It's a center of academia and learning. They don't get much in the way of scandals here, and this is more than just a scandal. It's pretty awful. Do you guys have any questions for Commissioner Goodman?
So, do we know how long has it been since the murder took place?
It's been about 12 hours since the murder took place. It's pretty recent. You guys, the benefit of having advanced technology in the 24th century is when something happens, people there's station alarms that go off, and so they were picked up pretty quickly and rushed off to the morgue. There was no saving these people. They were just burned up.
If I wanted to talk directly to Commissioner Goodman, would that be your role? So I could just talk to you? Or
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool. And Kexi, feel free to jump in at any time.
Well, you're the captain.
Sure. Just giving you the permission to jump in whenever you want.
Okay.
Definitely feel like doing that.
Commissioner, how well did you know your security officer, your Cardassian security officer, or your security personnel?
The security personnel is.
My bad. How well did you know your computer expert?
Oh, the computer expert. Well,
I am so sorry. Can you give me 30 seconds?
Sure.
My dog picked up the one squeaky toy left in the room.
That's okay. Awesome.
Stop it.
See, at exactly the wrong moment.
That's okay.
Perfect.
It gives me a chance to we'll have him ask the question again, and it'll sound much smoother.
Yeah. Well, and I'm working on trying to find a way to take notes, and I'm literally in my office. You would think I have everything for notes in here. Do I do any of my schoolwork in here? No.
But you have your computer. You could always type notes.
I can't. It makes noise, and I like writing better.
Okay, that's fair. I'm suggesting alternatives.
I know. I got it.
I love you, and I want you to thrive.
If my internet doesn't crap out.
Did we lose Kexi? She's frozen at the best possible moment.
Yeah, she was. I don't know if she's still there.
That's awesome.
Go ahead and ask the question again.
Sure, and it looks like she's back.
Cool. All right.
Okay. Commissioner, how well did you know your computer expert in recruitment?
Oh, well, I didn't know her personally, but she is a life that is valued in the Federation, and we don't just easily let these people go. I figured that you had spent some time talking to her. You were on the shuttlecraft together as you came in. I'm just the head of the facility, so I didn't get involved directly with her. I didn't have any business in the bioneural wing. Most of my work is administrative. But if you ask me, it's probably this terrorist, this computer theorist named Iran. He's an Andorian computer theorist. He's a crackpot. He keeps coming up with these crazy ideas about advanced computer chips that operate through subspace or some nonsense like that. He was very against the bioneural computer wing. Very against it.
Computers operating through subspace. Okay.
But there was I did hear he picks up one of these the pads on his desk and flips through a couple of files. He says, there was one of my engineers I was warned about had personal confrontation with Hiva Zujat. Her name was Janine Nar. She was also a Cardassian working on Memory Alpha.
Where is she now?
She should still be working here. I'm not sure where she's at the moment. He calls up the computer, but the computer gives him an error. It just makes an error noise, or whatever noise the computer makes, and it tells him that computer systems are not operational at the moment, and he curses and he says, "We've been having this problem ever since the bioneural wing went down. We've got to get to the bottom of this. This all just seems like, I know we're supposed to be coming to peace with the Romulans, but this all seems like a Romulan plot."
Okay, you're saying it feels like a Romulan plot, and you still think it's a computer theorist, an Andorian? Do you know who you're trying to blame? Or are you just going to be all over the place?
I've got to examine all the theories, or I guess you've got to examine all the theories. I have no idea who could have done it. My money is personally on Uran. It looks like a Romulan plot, but Romulan spies can be of any species. For all I know, the Romulans paid Uran vast amounts of latinum in order to disable Memory Alpha. Like I said, he's a crackpot.
Well, Commissioner, first thing that would really help us do our jobs is if you can get us in touch with Iran and Janine Noor.
He gives you access, like on a pad, he hands you information as to where to find these people. When he does that, Goodman's communicator on the desk makes its little chirp, and he activates it so everyone in the room can hear, and it's Dr. Miguel Perez, the mortician, and they call to report the findings on the autopsy. The burns on the bodies were consistent with a high energy discharge that does not match any known phaser frequency or disruptor frequency. It's closer to an exploding EPS conduit. The Cardassian computer scientist Hiva Zujat, she had an electronic device implanted in her brain that exploded when she was killed. And Ensign Curette died of severe internal brain hemorrhaging, which began immediately prior to his death.
Ouch.
Kexi, what do you make of all this?
I think we should go talk to Ron first. I have a notion, I guess.
Okay.
It would make sense. Somebody who doesn't necessarily want to have the bioneural network.
Yeah, computer wing.
The bionet. Wow, I'm good at this. To have the bioneural computer wing up and running, maybe would want to take care of the two people who are trying to maintain and keep it going. So why don't we check there first?
Sure, we'll definitely go do that. But I just want you to know that if there's anything I've learned in Starfleet, it's that there is no such thing as coincidence. And this seems way too much like a manufactured attack to point to one person. So I'm just saying keep your horizons open on this one.
Yeah, the truth is I think so too. I really just would like to talk to him to, make it so that the Andorian is not the one who's getting blamed.
Okay, let's do it.
Feels like you've got a personal stake in that.
A little bit. Truck. Did you do it? No? Okay, good. Let's move on.
So Iran has an apartment a short distance away from the central library. A Vulcan woman named Tanique answers the door when you call, and she permits you to enter and explains that Iran has become suddenly very sick, but he has been expecting a visit from Starfleet. She offers you tea while you wait. Uran's living room is spacious and filled with minimalist furniture. A shelf on the wall displays his Ushan Tor, the ancestral Andorian weapon/tool that is used to uphold his cultural code of honor. Below the shelf are several drawers set into the wall. In the center of the room, a sofa set with silk-like white cloth stretches in a semicircle around a small table fashioned to look like the top of an ice shelf. There are very notably no paperback or hardback books, but there is a pad on the coffee table. It is colder than average in the spacious home. So you guys are in Uran's apartment at this point. We're just going to skip travel because there's no point wasting time. Right. Scene change. Scene change.
Okay. And while we wait for him, can we look around his apartment?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make a reason plus security roll. That's going to be on 2d20.
Okay.
And the number that you're looking for is going to be 11. So Kexi Bay only senses the minds of 2 people in this apartment, and none of the minds that she can sense are Uran's.
Oh.
One of them is a caretaker, and the other one is Tanique. Tanique is very concerned about something called a quintolinear data chip, and Kevin, who's the caretaker, he's very concerned with where his next job is going to be, which seems a little bit morbid.
Does it, though?
It might be. It might not be.
Okay. So I take, when you say 2d20, you mean the 20-sided dice?
Yep.
Okay. And just roll?
Yep. You roll those.
Okay. I'm looking for an 11 or higher, or am I looking just for
an 11 or lower? You want to get
lower. Okay.
Below.
Okay. Nope, I got a 19.
Okay. And that was on 1 or 2?
Oh, 2?
Okay. Both of them rolled 19?
No, it was 12 and a 7.
Oh, okay. So the 7 is a success. So
Okay.
they don't add together. They're 2 separate dice. So the 7 is a success.
Yay. I was going to say, you rolled 19 on both of those dice. Go play D&D.
Right? So the dice rolling system, there's a difficulty to the task, which I should have let you know before because as Starfleet officers, you guys are qualified and capable of understanding what the difficulty is. In this case, it was a difficulty 0 task. So any successes that you get are not only successes, they generate what's called momentum, which I track with these little blue chips here, but will be tracked with audible noises. I will let you know.
Sure.
Momentum can be spent on a number of things, notably adding extra dice or allowing you to re-roll a die. You can spend it to obtain additional information when you are trying to gain information. There's some specific rules about where you can and cannot spend momentum. In this case, you find in the middle drawer underneath the Ushan Tor, you find a very strange looking computer chip one like you've never seen before. Like the normal ones look like that see-through plastic. It's all the rage in Star Trek, the standard isolinear chips. But this one looks, it feels soft in your hand, but it looks metallic, like a silvery, chromed out kind of metallic. But it feels very soft, like a squishy toy animal would feel, or one of those stress balls. It sort of feels like that, but it looks metallic. You find that in the drawer underneath the Ushan Tor.
And theoretically, you said I have 1 momentum right now?
Correct.
If I wanted to, I'm not saying I want to, if I wanted to, I could continue to search.
Yes, you could spend the momentum to get additional information from your search.
Right. Okay. Not that I want to, though. So,
sure.
Now, is Lynette still in the room?
Tanique is in the room.
I'm sorry.
Do you guys have, so it's Tanique, T''N''I''Q.
Cool.
Do your characters have like a preferred beverage she offers you? chance to drink something?
No, I'm good.
Water
Thank
for
you.
me. Just water. I'll
Okay.
take water.
Tanique brings back the water from the replicator and hands it to you.
Captain, Udan's not here.
Tanique looks at you curiously when you say that and says, I can assure you he most definitely is here, although, as I stated, he is very sick. And at that point, Uran is sort of wheeled out in a hovering chair, looking frail and small. His white hair is disheveled and his antennae sag a little bit. They are hardly moving. He doesn't seem to make eye contact with anyone. Assisting the elderly Andorian is a man who calls himself Kevin Westerly. He is wearing nursing scrubs and he looks somewhat somber. By the way, just as a reminder, you do have your Starfleet equipment on you, so you do have tricorders, which can assist you in scanning things.
I was about to say, I'm going to pull out my tricorder.
That
So I'm going to scan him with my beautiful little tricorder
Okay.
that, for whatever reason, doesn't take pictures.
That's going to be a difficulty 2 insight plus medicine task.
Oh, let's see.
So actually, effectively, the tricorders can record any bits of information you need them to, including having photoreceptors if that's needed.
Did you
Usually, I did see your
earlier?
tweet. Generally speaking, it's possible for tricorders to generate data that will allow them to recreate 3D images that are used in the holodeck.
So am I just rolling 2d20?
Yes, because Shashank did not use his momentum, that is banked for the party. So if you wanted to use that momentum, you could purchase an additional die. If you didn't want to spend the momentum, you can also add to the threat pool. Threat is a measure of how dangerous is the situation, and it's basically my momentum. So when an NPC would spend a momentum, they spend threat instead. So you can give me threat, or you can spend your own momentum.
And then, so when I'm looking at my insight versus medicine, insight and medicine, I just need a number that is below. So in my case, it would be a 9 or under in order to win.
Correct.
Okay.
You generate successes on dice that read 9 or below.
Okay. Well, let's see if Hexy can. Oh, I got 2 successes. I got a 5 and a 2.
Fantastic.
I like these dice.
So that's exactly what you needed. So that tells you that Uran is nearly brain dead. He's got very, very trace mental activity, and it is just enough to keep him in a vegetative state. He's being kept alive with a variety of sophisticated medical devices, but the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Kexi, would it be possible to find out how long he has been in the state for?
Well, I was just going to ask those words out loud.
So in order to have gained that information, you would have to have spent a momentum gained from the task.
No,
So
I'm literally just going to ask Kevin how long he's been in this state.
He's been in this state for approximately 48 hours. We were able to get him under care very quickly. He just had a seizure. It was unexpected, but at his age, these things happen.
How old is Uran?
Uran is in his late 80s.
Okay.
Is this his first seizure?
This is his first seizure, yes.
Does Uran have any other medical conditions?
None that we've known. He's been extremely healthy for his entire life. Very, very healthy, very driven man. Very dedicated to computer science.
So 3 days ago, he was fine.
Yes.
Huh.
But going back to the murder, it took place 12 hours ago.
Right. He couldn't have done this. Well, he couldn't have done that. Mm.
We're also taking the word of Kevin.
Tanique can verify that was when things happen. And also, along with the telepathy, you sense no deception from these people. That is, in fact, when this happened. This is, by the way, the first Kevin and Tanique have heard of the murder. They are quite shocked to hear of it.
So
who was
Captain-
murdered? What happened?
I think they weren't involved.
Okay. I'm not saying I'm going to rule them out, but I hear you. Nothing seems afoot here, at least to me. We'd love to go back and talk to Janino. But before we leave, can we take that chip with us? Is that still in our possession?
Tanique is very protective of the chip. She identifies this as a quintilinear chip. So this is the thing that she was very excited about. She says she thought that you would be interested in possibly prototype testing it, but if you're here to investigate a murder, then she's not comfortable with you taking it with you.
Okay. Tanique, could you tell us what a quintilinear chip is? What its function is? What
Sure.
is it used for?
So it was Iran's pride and joy. He's been working on this for several decades. It is, according to Iran and definitely to Tanique, the functional replacement, the advancement from the isolinear chip that Starfleet used as a mainstay in their ships, and increases computer speed exponentially by bouncing electrons through subspace. When it works, it is extremely efficient because of the material that it's made of, which can be synthesized even in a replicator just like the isolinear chips can.
What happens when it doesn't work?
Data doesn't transfer. The electrons seem to bounce off of subspace to uncontrolled locations. It's been a lot of work to get everything to work just right, but so far it's been more success. We are up to an 85.7% success rate with the quintilinear chip, and we're hoping that with Starfleet backing, we can increase the success rate even more by adding redundant systems.
Hey, what was happening just prior to Udan being in this state? What was he doing?
Neither of us was present with Uran at that time. He did not need a caretaker at that time, so we did not need Mr. Westerly's assistance. And I myself was at the lab working on a process that uses 5 chips in order to increase redundancy and reduce loss.
I apologize for my lack of expertise in science, but Tanique, would it be possible to use this chip as an implant in someone's brain?
It would be extremely hazardous. At the moment, we have no idea what the effects of the metal in this chip would be on biological matter. If you guys want to, you can make a reason plus science task with your tricorder to determine if there's any link between the isolinear chip and Uran's brain damage, but it's going to be a difficulty 3 task, which means you're going to need to spend a momentum or add to the threat pool in order to succeed, unless you want to bank on possibly rolling a 1. Actually, Kexi, you might have a focus in this. Do you have anything in computers?
No, I've got astrophysics and quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics will work. So what that means is you would use your science rating as your crit range, basically. So you would get 2 successes on anything between a 1 and a 5 if you rolled science plus reason with your tricorder.
Okay. Without spending momentum?
Without spending momentum.
Okay.
So that would be on 2 dice.
You see us trying to bank those momentums, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
have a feeling we'll need to use them.
be careful about trying to bank momentum because you lose 1 momentum as you go from scene to scene.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay.
So if we don't use our momentum right now, we'll lose it when we move on from this room.
Correct.
Okay.
I am willing to hear you tell me I need to use a momentum if that's what you want.
Yes, you can use the momentum.
Okay.
All right.
I got a 2, a 9, and a 3. I got 2 crits.
Yes. So that's a lot of momentum. It's
Good job.
2 and a 9 and 3 is 5 successes, so you generate 2 momentum.
Oh.
There is absolutely no link between the quintilinear chip and Ubran's brain damage. They're wholly unrelated. There's no connection between them. So whatever it was that did this to him, it was not the quintilinear chip.
No, but I have my suspicions that maybe I'm going to go ahead and say out loud, maybe the person who attacked the people or who murdered our people also attacked Uran.
Why would someone need to attack someone who's trying to propagate the use of bioneural gel and also try to attack someone who's opposed to the use of this gel?
You know, I think this is about technology moving forward and less about the individual things.
Do we understand this correctly? Memory Alpha is much more of a quieter, less technologically advanced planet.
Yeah.
It's pretty highly technologically advanced. It uses computers to store all of the vast knowledge of the United Federation of Planets. That's okay.
Hey,
He had something important. He had something important to say.
I'm going to mute myself. Keep that going.
So, Memory Alpha is the home of all of knowledge in the United Federation of Planets. So it does tend to be pretty advanced technologically, mostly because there's a lot of research and development that goes on here. There's certainly like a Silicon Valley type area, not quite as cutthroat, of course, but definitely in terms of building up technology and innovating, it's there. But generally speaking, Starfleet is a big proponent of coming in and helping out, giving resources, providing those. Different species might show up and back projects themselves, members of the United Federation of Planets. But it is pretty technologically advanced here. It's about on par with anything that you'd find on a starship. Plus, Memory Alpha has no atmosphere of its own, so it's entirely contained within human-built structures, or Federation-built structures, I should say, because it was almost definitely built by non-humans as well. You guys receive a call on your comm badge from Deputy Scoff. He says, "We just caught Janine Nar trying to bypass the transporter system that's been locked down to keep potential culprits from leaving the planet. Please report to the security office as soon as you can."
All right, and we head that way.
All right.
Bye-bye, banked momentum.
One momentum goes away, but you've still got one.
I know, but and yet.
And yet.
We'll need it. Watch. We'll be right when we need that one.
Yeah, of course. So, every scene has most scenes anyway, have active traits that affect the way things go down. So this scene in Memory Alpha Security Office has the active traits for well lit and under surveillance 4. So if, for example, you wanted to do something that was, what's the word?
Interrogative in nature?
Not necessarily, but definitely if you want to do shady things,
okay.
If you wanted to do anything, you'd have to generate advantages or create opportunities by using momentum spends to undermine the surveillance. And you'd have to do it 4 times because there's just that much surveillance here. So it's basically impossible to do. At the moment, it is impossible to do anything to bypass the surveillance in this area. The security station is small. It's under heavy surveillance, as I said. A gold jumpsuited security officer escorts you to an isolated chamber with solid white walls and no windows. There is a table in the center of the room, on the close side of which is a Cardassian woman with braided black hair. The spoon-like cartilaginous growth on her forehead is painted blue in the traditional makeup style of Cardassian women, and her red lip color is uneven. She's wearing dark gray coveralls, and she keeps her head bowed in shame. Deputy Scoff accompanies you into the interrogation room, planting themselves in a corner and observing with crossed arms.
Is there a chair in front of her on the other side of the table?
Yeah, there's a couple chairs.
Okay. We pull our chairs and we sit down?
I'm gonna like sort of quietly in your ear, Captain. Could you ask the deputy and the other guy to leave?
The guy who escorted you leaves as soon as you guys are there, so it's just Deputy Scoff and you guys.
Okay. Well, could you ask Deputy Scoff to leave? It's going to be impossible to talk to somebody trying to be intimidating.
Deputy Scoff, we would like you to leave this place for a little bit while we talk to Janine. That's all right.
Deputy Scoff looks between the two of you and then looks at Janinar, nods, and says, I'll be outside if you need me.
Thank you.
And he leaves the room. Janinar is still sitting with her head down. She hasn't looked at you guys yet. She's very sullen looking.
Okay, so I address her. I greet her in a very formal, staff lead way. And, well, now if I talk to you, it'll be talking to Janine, right?
Correct.
Janine, are you aware of what's going on? Do you know why we're here?
I didn't realize that the lockdown had to do with Starfleet. But
Why were you trying to leave?
I can't tell you that. So at the moment, she is interested in maintaining her secret. So this would start to become a persuasion task that is needed.
Okay, I'm going to use insight and security.
Mm-hmm.
And I get one roll, or do I get two?
So you roll 2 dice.
Okay. I got a 15 and a 14.
Oof.
Okay. So what is your question that goes with this? So this can be multiple tasks in order until you're done trying to get information out of her. But you're absolutely welcome to ask questions. And I think the way we should do this, and I should have had you ask your question first. So actually, I think we'll even just do we'll shrug that off as a test, if that's cool with everybody. So here's how this is going to work for social or for persuasion tests is what they're called. You can go ahead and ask your question, and then I'll give you the task, relevant attribute, and discipline, and then you can roll. And because the subject might change based on what you're trying to ask about. So you need to ask the question first so I know what you're going for, and then you can make the task, and then that will allow me to determine what the result is. Does that make sense?
Okay. I would like to know why you were trying to leave the station.
Okay, so go ahead and make an insight plus security roll.
I got a 7 and a 13.
All right, that's one success. And she did not generate any successes. So she says, I'm trying to get away from the Orion Syndicate. I owe them a lot of latinum.
Okay. And again, the way this works is I just ask you another question and roll and try to get under.
Right. So you'll ask me a question, and I'll tell you either roll on the same thing, or I'll tell you if the discipline changes or something.
Any particular emotion associated with her talking about the Orion Syndicate?
She's fearful. You can sense that this is something she's incredibly anxious about. It seems like she's been expecting trouble from it for a long time.
Okay.
Why is the Orion Syndicate hunting you down?
I'd say that's going to be a reason plus security.
Okay, which is an 11.
Mm-hmm. So you
I
can
need to
go
make
ahead.
an 11 or lower.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 1 and a 7.
Okay, so 1 is 2 successes, and a 7 is a third success. So you generate 2 momentum. Now these 2 momentum you can spend to get additional information from this question. So keep that in mind. You cannot use the banked one to get additional information, but you can use these 2 that you just gained.
Okay.
And you had asked why she's afraid of the Orion, or what her involvement was with the.
Right. What's it involved? Why are they trying to hunt her down?
They used to supply me with a low-grade narcotic called Vitrasoltin. They did this. I had this arrangement with them for a long time, since before I got off Cardassia, before the Dominion came. They managed to keep me supplied until I was transferred to Memory Alpha. Then the supply stopped because I was so deep into the Federation territory, and I stopped making any gold-pressed latinum to send to them. So eventually they're going to come after me. I just know it.
No, I don't know if this is just me trying to jog up my memory. What was her position on the station?
She's an engineer.
Okay, and she was working in the same place where the incident happened, correct?
Incorrect. She was
Okay.
not. She was not working in the Bioneural Computer Wing. She actually works in the old Duotronics Museum.
Duotronics. Okay. What's Duotronics?
Duotronics are a very old computing system that was used in the 23rd century. It's long since been replaced by isolinear chips, but we maintain a museum for computer historians who can come and see what computing technology used to be like. So I keep that old technology up and running.
Okay. And in asking you these questions, did I have to use my momentum? Is that how that worked?
No, those were questions that I would say are unrelated to the initial question. And they are questions that that Janine R would be willing to answer because they're about her
Anyway?
job. Yeah.
Right. What's your relationship to Iran?
Who?
Never mind.
She does not know who that is.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
That's good. That's
that
good.
works.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to ask her any questions about her relationship to the deceased?
Yeah,
Sure.
That's where I'm headed.
Okay. And again, can Kexi also continue to ask questions?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
can, but I'm unlikely to interrupt you. So
Okay.
just as a matter of course, I'm unlikely to interrupt you. Sometimes
Okay.
I just get my questions answered as we go. So
I'm going to go ahead and bank these two momentum since we didn't have any follow-up questions for the Orion Syndicate. Is that okay?
Kexi, sure.
Okay.
Right? Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
Kexi, would you like to ask her any questions?
sure. How did you know the people who just passed away? I'm having name problems, Fliss.
Okay.
Sure.
Her name is...
How did you know Hiva and Kirat?
There we go.
Go ahead and make an insight plus security. Or, you know what? Go ahead and make an insight plus science. Or, I guess she was an engineer. Insight plus engineering. Sorry to be so indecisive about it. Insight
okay.
plus engineering.
Yeah, what the hell, Game Master?
Well, I'm thinking like computer scientist, and then I'm a computer engineer, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to get under a 12. Get me... Oh, I got an 11. Woo. That was...
Awesome. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to roll for her.
The other one was a 19.
All right. So they grew up on Cardassia together, and Hiva Sujat joined the Federation much younger as a computer expert, particularly helping to develop the bioneural gel pack technology. You were already aware of that information, but what you did not know is that Hiva Sujat rejected Jani's request to become her sponsor for Sanctuary in the Federation during the Dominion War.
Do you know anything about this chip that was in
The
head?
Yeah. Oh, for that, go ahead and make a reason plus security. It's going to be another 12.
Wait. 9 and 8. I got 2 successes.
That's 2 successes, and she got 1, so that earns you 1 momentum. You would be able to use this to ask additional questions related to that one. Oh gosh, I keep saying this and then I forget what you asked.
Chip in the head.
Oh, yes. So Janine R. believes that Hiva Sujat was a member of the Obsidian Order, and that might have been related to that. Did you want to spend your additional momentum that you gained on this to gain more information about Janine R. and Hiva Sujat?
What's the Obsidian Order?
The Obsidian Order is a clandestine, or was rather, a clandestine spy organization. They were the secret police on Cardassia for ages and ages and ages, run by a man named Enabrin Tain.
They're like Cardassian Section 31.
Yeah. By the time the Dominion took over, Section 31 had fallen apart and is largely believed to be inactive.
You mean Obsidian Order has fallen apart?
What did I say?
You said Section 31.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, Section 31 is very much alive. But, sorry. No, the Obsidian Order. So, by this point, 2380, it is believed that the Obsidian Order is gone.
Right. Of course. Did
You have any more questions for her?
anybody else know of the connection to the Obsidian Order?
It's impossible to prove.
It's
If
impossible
someone-
to prove, but you've got theories, right?
We grew up together. There are things that you learn about your friends. And when she became an adult, she fell in with the wrong crowd.
You said there are things you learn about your friends. What was this? What you learned, or is there something else you're not telling us?
It's ancient history now, just the way that she behaved on Cardassia. She was always very friendly and outgoing, and she very much loved to help the downtrodden, which is not common on Cardassia. But when she became an adult, she began reversing those opinions and became very much obsessed with the Cardassian state, which isn't unusual on Cardassia, but it makes you wonder
Makes you wonder what?
whether or not she's with the Obsidian Order.
Okay. Oh. Wow. How many momentum do I have again?
Currently, you're sitting at 3 momentum.
Okay.
And you guys can ask me about the momentum level at any time, or even the threat
Okay.
level at any time, and I'll let
What's
you
the
guys
threat level right now?
The threat level is at 4. I start the game with 2 threat per player that I can use. I have not yet used any threat, and I will let you know if I do. Essentially, threat allows me to do things to you to complicate your lives. So far, I haven't needed to.
Okay.
But we do a fine
If-
job of that all on our own.
If let's say there was an Obsidian Order trying to rear its ugly head again, would it have
Hail
any
Hydra.
use with?
Sorry.
Would it have any use of bioneural gel?
Nothing they couldn't manufacture themselves. As I understand it, it's not exactly a state secret of the Federation.
Would the Obsidian Order have any reason to kill Eva?
If she fell in with the Obsidian Order, they could cook up any number of reasons to kill her. Even just that she looked at someone the wrong way.
What do you make of this, Kexi?
I don't know. The Obsidian Order wasn't particularly, didn't seem to be particularly against anything tech. There's no reason for them to, it just doesn't look like there's any reason for them to attack them because of the tech itself. And I still think that there's a connection between these guys getting murdered and Uran's state. I mean, even if they didn't know each other, I still think there's a connection there. And I think the Obsidian Order is just sort of, we may be trampling down the wrong path, which may be entirely what the Game Master wants.
We have not done anything to further talk about Ensign Kiret, who was also murdered.
Yeah.
Would it be Janine? Are you familiar with Ensign Kiret? Have you had any discussions with him?
She doesn't know who that is.
I think we need to go talk to the deputy.
Deputy Scoff?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why would we need to go talk to Deputy Scoff?
Look, we've got 2 people murdered and a dude that's brain dead. And the person who is brain dead is the first person's name that we heard that could be in connection with the murder of these 2 people. I'm not entirely certain that Janinar can actually help us with what's going on. We need to research some, maybe there's the possibility of there being some anti-tech organizations that maybe would want to come after both. What happened to Hava and Kirit was clearly planned, and maybe Uran just didn't go as planned.
I will also point out that you guys have not investigated the crime scene yet.
Oh, oh,
That would help. But before we leave, since we are going to lose this momentum anyway,
Just
can we
one.
ask
Just one.
Can,
We're just going to lose
can
one.
we ask Janine one more question?
Absolutely. You can ask her as many questions as you like.
Janine, are you aware of any anti-tech fundamentalist organizations on Memory Alpha?
She says no. Nobody here on Memory Alpha really holds with that kind of nonsense, and so we just don't. We don't do any of that kind of thing. In fact, the Orion Syndicate showing up would be surprising here, but I'm still a little bit on edge. I haven't had any Vitra Sultan for a long time.
Okay, let's see if we can get you some medical help, and let's go investigate that crime scene.
Okay, so
Let's go investigate that crime scene.
Yeah.
as you guys head out, the computers flicker to life with a video. You see a darkened hallway with only emergency lighting casting deep shadows across the form of a Cardassian woman in a gray jumpsuit. It's Janine R. She accesses the junction panel and begins rewiring the circuits there. The video skips, and Janine R is gone. The overhead lights flicker on as Hiva Sujat and Ensign Curet walk down the hallway side by side. They stop in front of the same panel that Janine R had opened and have a short discussion. Hiva then turns and opens the panel. An arc of electrical current shoots out from the panel and jumps from Hiva to Curet. The video cuts off and then starts again from the beginning.
Okay, one more time. And this just happened while we were leaving, with no rhyme or reason.
Correct.
But there's a chunk of data missing, or seems to be a chunk of data missing.
Your comm badges chirp, and Commissioner Goodman reports to you that the crime scene has been flushed of anethrazine gas that had flooded the chamber after Hiva Sujat and Ensign Curet were discovered and removed. So it was previously inaccessible.
And now it is accessible?
And now it is accessible.
Okay, just make sure. And just so I understand this correctly, there is no way to determine how the video started and stopped.
Correct. And in fact, the security officers are trying to get it off of their screen because they were actively trying to do something else.
Okay.
Is
And there is also...
this going everywhere?
It's going across the computer panels in the security station.
Okay.
So just for us to see.
Mm-hmm. For everyone in the security station to see, yeah.
Right.
Deputy Scoff, after seeing it a couple of times, goes back into the interrogation room and he escorts Janine R into a holding cell and turns on the force field.
Captain, we need to make sure Janine R stays safe. People seeing this will automatically associate the idea of Janine R with the deaths of these two people, and she may not have actually had anything to do with it. So
let's go talk to Deputy Scoff.
Deputy Scoff is standing there, and they are absolutely convinced that Janine R is guilty and that finally they have been able to get the video evidence that they need to prove it.
okay. I gotta try to reason with this dude.
Sure. Go ahead and make an opposed reason plus security. I'm going to spend a threat to increase the number of dice I can roll.
This is not gonna be fun.
Deputy
I'm
Scott
sorry,
got...
I'm trying to be really serious, but Victoria's playing with her cat and it's adorable.
It's okay. It's okay to have fun.
100% of the time.
Yeah. We're not here to be serious. We're here to have fun.
I got one success.
Okay. So Deputy Scoff got 2. So he is not convinced that it is fake. But you're not entirely certain it's fake either. You can
I don't think that it's fake. I think that there's information missing.
Okay.
She's there and then she's gone. She couldn't have just simply disappeared.
Well, it looks like the video skips, so it looks like there's time missing.
Right. So
There is. She's an engineer. It's her job to go and rewire things. It could have been very easily a scene from another day.
She's an engineer who works on old tech.
Yeah.
Her primary function is to keep stuff from the forever ago working. So Was she even working in a panel that she understands the tech of? Just because we're engineers doesn't mean we know how every engineering thing works.
Right? You don't
Okay.
know?
I look at. I would like Deputy Scoff to promise me that she will be safe through all of this. That no harm will come to her.
Absolutely. This is a Federation installation. We don't believe in capital punishment. She will go through due process. She will have an appointed attorney who will represent her at court when the time comes, and she will be tried for murder, at which point the judge will decide what her fate will be. More than likely, it will be rehabilitation camp.
You have decided that she has murdered someone by looking at a video that could very well be engineered. Do you realize you're saying that to me?
I think I've got all the evidence that I need, but you feel free to continue the investigation. Maybe you'll find something to exonerate her.
Deputy Scoff, you're not understanding this. You cause pain and harm to someone based on engineered video evidence at a time when computers are going off. There has been a very serious incident, and clearly nothing here is working the way it's supposed to be.
It is
So,
my job to keep people safe. There have been not one but 2 murders at our station, and we have a potential culprit right here. She's already tried to access the transporter systems. I don't believe her, whatever argument about the Orion Syndicate. I'm going to hold her here until I have reason to believe that she is innocent.
okay, potential being the key word and innocent being the other key word.
She might be. I would certainly like to know that our own engineers are reliable enough to not kill people.
And I would like to know that our own security officers will not kill people based on engineered video evidence.
I'm not killing anyone.
Let's just go with you're
Yep.
probably going to keep her safe at least until her trial.
Yes, you can reasonably be assured that Federation holding cells are not inhumane.
Yeah, as I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the fact that we had 2 people die in a really bizarre fashion,
Mhm.
and now we've got a potential person in one place where she could be damaged in the same sort of manner, but we don't know what that manner was. We need to go investigate the crime scene.
Let's do it.
All right,
Abby,
so
let's go to the crime scene.
you guys are at 2 momentum now. The Bioneural computer wing is vacant when you arrive, dimly lit from below by red emergency lighting. The slight stale smell of anesthetizing gas still lingers in the air, too weak to affect anyone. The computer displays that run along the walls are dark, reflecting only the stars that shine in from the night sky, visible through the overhead windows. Corridors curve off to the left and right for about 10 meters on each side, and you can see a computer access panel is still open down the corridor to your left. On the ground in front of the open access panel are the smudged black shadows of 2 figures, nothing more than powder on the carpet. Only the quiet hum of the computer behind the walls meets your ears. The active traits for the scene are emergency lighting and stubborn computers.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, there's a computer at the end of the hallway that's on?
So none of the computer access panel, so none of the computer screens are on, but there is an open access panel.
Is it the access panel that Ginny and I was accessing when in the video that we saw?
Looks like it.
Let's go look at it. I would
Yeah.
like to go look at it. So I walk there and
Sure. Gosh, I put all of these things in here. Go ahead and describe to me now that I'm saying So, describe to me what exactly you're doing with this panel when you go up to it.
Can
well,
I,
at this point, it's... Oh, go ahead.
Captain, hang just a second. Can I be sort of preemptively kind of close to the captain in case I see something sort of arcing? Maybe I can push him out of the way.
I think that's what Curette was trying to do.
Either way.
Yes, you can be next to the captain if you want to be.
I just want to make it clear that we know that something happened, and
Right.
so I am
Sure.
watching for that thing that may have happened, so that my
Okay.
captain is not in danger.
All right, go ahead and describe to me how you approach this.
Okay, I approach it very, very carefully, very delicately. I get close enough to still be a few steps away, and then I turn to Kexi and I say, Kexi, I'm going to first figure out how to turn the power off for this panel. So what happened the last time does not happen this time. And then that's where we are.
Can you make a difficulty 1 reason plus engineering task to see if you can figure it out at a glance?
Okay.
So this is going to be reason plus engineering. So you're going to take your reason and engineering. So that's a 10 total. And you'll take your 2d20. You can buy additional d20s if you want. You've got 2 momentum.
I'm going to do that.
This is a difficulty 1 task. So it's not
entirely necessary.
It's not entirely necessary.
Right.
And then you just roll your 2d20 and you're trying to get a 10 or below. So this is literally a 50% chance on any one die.
Okay. I got a 7 and a 13.
Okay, so that's 1 success. You can tell that there is actually nothing damaged in this access terminal. There's nothing rewired. It doesn't look like anybody actually touched it. Everything is where it should be and is very obviously where it should be.
Okay, it's time to use that handy dandy tricorder.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Where in the room did it look like that arcing was coming from?
Definitely came from this panel.
Okay.
It came from within it, right? So it shot out and then.
Correct.
Right. I just wanted to make sure we weren't getting it from a weird angle. So I'm just gonna scan it and see if there's something deeper maybe.
Sure.
Okay. Where is this? Okay. So this is going to be a difficulty 3 reason plus science task for you. So
I need to spend a momentum, huh?
it would be a good idea.
Okay. So I'll spend a momentum.
So you bought an extra dice with the momentum. That's called creating an advantage.
2 successes, 1 crit. I got a 1.
All right. So is that you got a 1 and...
I got a 1 and a 9, and I needed a 15 or below.
Okay, so that's 3 successes. Did you buy... You rolled the extra d20 for the third one?
I did.
Okay.
I got a 16 on that one, so...
Okay. So what you see is in the bioneural gel packs, there is another brain pattern imprinted on the bioneural gel pack. So there's 2 brain patterns in there where there should be 1.
Oh.
And at this point, I'm going to spend 3 threat to turn the anesthetizing gas back on.
Oh, no!
Get out of there!
I mean, I can only go as fast as I know what's going on.
Both of you are in the room with the anesthetizing gas.
Right. We need to leave. And we're leaving.
Can we communicate to literally anybody? We need open the doors, get us out of here.
Black alert or red alert or yellow alert. We are in danger. There is an steam gas and we're trying to escape this room right now.
Yeah.
Security.
So
we need out.
You're not sure. Oh, my cat is in here. You're not sure if the security got your message.
Oh boy.
You guys have an opportunity to try to shut the anesthetizing gas off manually, or at least vent it.
Okay.
It's going to require a difficulty 2 control plus engineering task to turn it off.
Okay. What's your control plus engineering, Kexi?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good shot.
She would be at a 14.
Yeah, I'm at a 14 to do it, so...
Oh, I'm at an 11.
Yeah. I'm the science officer.
Do it. Just making sure.
All right.
I would never ask you to do anything I wouldn't do.
That makes it good, Captain. I got 1 success.
So the gas that's currently in the room vents, but it's still coming.
Okay.
You'll be able to attempt again if you like. But in the meantime, your current action, as it were, is taken up venting that. So now we're going to go over to Captain Varun Rai and figure out what he's going to do as you're doing this.
Okay, well, I'm actively telling you to get out.
Okay, but I'm not going to leave my office yet, right? Have we taken the gel pack? Is that still with us?
No, I'd have to take it out, and I haven't gotten that far.
Okay.
As far
So
as
all we've done is we've seen it, and then
Yeah.
this started happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
we've gotten as far as something sensed.
Yeah.
It sensed that we knew what was going on, I
Right.
guess.
And then it triggered the
And then
anesthesia
it
gas.
triggered the thing. I think it's trying to protect itself. I think that's what's happening. But we need to get out. So, we need to get out.
And you've tried to switch the gas off, and it kind of sort of worked.
I got it vented, but it's still coming in.
So can't we just step out of the room? That's not possible right now.
Well, I think that's what I'm trying to get us to do is step out.
Well, I thought the room was locked for some reason, but yeah, if we had,
The room is locked, yeah.
Doors.
The doors are locked.
Right.
There-
So, but we hadn't checked the doors, so I didn't know.
right, and didn't you say there were two hallways that led to the left and right?
Yeah, so the computer wing in general is sort of shaped like a big donut with a
Okay.
cross through the middle.
Yeah.
Where there's a central computer access station in the very middle, and there are corridors leading around the outside. So when you came in to that,
We came in through the
wing.
one exit.
right,
that's
and
locked.
and it's at right. So the exit is currently locked.
Okay, I'm gonna head to the exit. I head toward the exit. I pull my phaser out
Okay.
and I shoot at the lock or the area where it locks to see if something happens.
Sure, go ahead and make a difficulty 2 control plus security task.
So that is an 8 plus 3 in 11. So I have to get an 11 or lower, correct?
Correct.
I got a 5 and a 1.
Nice.
Hey! Yay!
What did I say the difficulty was? Difficulty 2. So that's
Yeah.
that's the correct number of successes. So the panel sparks and the door slides open, allowing the gas to spill out into the hallway, but giving you a chance to escape.
Okay, so I pull Kexi and we leave. We get up.
All right.
I probably should relent to that action, so I guess I will.
As soon as the anesthetizing gas starts filling up the corridor outside of the computer wing, alarms start going off, and the area goes into lockdown. You guys are just outside of that lockdown. There are evidently a team of engineers that are working in the power core that is located beneath the computer wing that are still in there,
Ooh,
trapped in the lockdown area.
No. That will not do.
Okay, they're trapped under, right?
Correct. And
Yeah.
this power core is also where you guys would be able to go to shut off the power entirely.
Okay. This sounds very Kirk of me, but Kexi, do you think we can just shoot at it? See if this turns off?
So
Wow.
to be clear on where you are situationally right now, the
Yeah,
power core
yeah.
is a whole room
Right.
underneath the room you guys were
Oh.
just in.
Right. So
And the room we're in, somewhere in our room, we can actually shut the power off.
You guys are now outside the computer wing, and that computer wing has been locked down for safety reasons.
yeah.
And there's a bunch of people in there, in that lockdown area, and you are outside of the lockdown area.
Okay. So we're outside of the lockdown area. I'm going to try and raise Deputy Scoff again.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
He responds.
just as a reminder, there are manual actuators in the panels beside doors in Star Trek, because sometimes the power doesn't work on
Sometimes
doors.
ish happens.
Right. So
okay, while you try to contact Deputy Scoff, I go and see if I can use the manual actuators.
okay.
Let's get those doors open so they can get
Yeah.
out.
So,
So-
I'm there. I'm trying to get it open.
Here's how we'll do this. We'll
Okay.
do Captain Rye first,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we'll do Deputy Scoff on the comms.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a difficulty 2 fitness plus engineering.
That's a 14 or lower because my fitness is 12 and my engineering is 2, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Got that.
I
Awesome.
got a 5 and a 17.
Okay, so that's one success. You managed to open the door a crack, and you can see that anesthetizing gas is still coming through where you are, it might be a safer bet to access it through the Jeffries tubes.
Okay. So I head to the Jeffries tube.
Okay.
And I'm climbing out.
Okay. Are you going to get Kexibe to come with you?
Yes, I'm gonna see if anything's happened with her trying to get to Deputy.
Okay, let's bounce over to Kexibe. Deputy Scoff is on the line. What are you asking him?
We need to. You've got people still in that area, and it's been shut down because anesthetizing gas has been released again in that space. I don't know why, but we need to get those people out. What can you do?
We will send a security team down right away. This is extremely concerning. I will contact Station Medical as well to ensure that any damage is treated. As long as the anesthetizing gas vents after everyone is unconscious, they'll be fine. But if it doesn't, they could asphyxiate. Are you in a position to access that area and provide any aid? We will support you however we can.
Yep, we're going to get in there. We got you.
Clearly, they say as well, clearly Janine Nar cannot be related to this. She's been under surveillance this whole time. I will release her at this point. She is free to go. I will be down there shortly.
No, don't release her.
Do not release her.
Do not release her.
No,
Yes.
She's safer where she is. Leave her where she is.
Oh, okay. We will maintain her here in protective custody then.
Right. Okay. Now the second crisis is to get that gas to stop venting, correct?
Yes.
And it's possible to do that, or there is a possibility that I can do it at the Jeffries tube.
Right. But
yes.
You probably want my help doing that.
Okay. Come on. But aren't we trying to help people stay alive?
Yeah. In the Jeffries tube, you guys can attempt another difficulty 2 control plus engineering tasks to attempt to turn off the anesthetizing gas and vent it, saving the people that are currently in the computer core.
Kexi, what's your control plus engineering?
Sorry?
What's your control plus engineering?
That would give me a 14.
Okay, that would only give me 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay back. I'm actually going to come down and see if I can help these people stay alive.
Absolutely. Okay. So here's...
Yeah, go ahead.
If you wanted to help even with the engineering task, I would allow you to do that. The way that works is you would roll one die, just one 20-sided die, and you would use your own attributes. So you would still have the 10 or below.
Okay.
And Colleen would roll her 2 dice, and you would be able to add whatever successes you have to whatever successes she generates.
Okay.
Difficulty?
I got a 7.
That's a success.
What was the difficulty?
Difficulty is 2, and you guys still have 1 momentum.
Now we're going to try without the momentum. And I got a success. Hey, I rolled a 7.
That's enough. The anesthetizing gas is off. The engineers are down there, possibly still in danger. The gas does vent, but there are people down there unconscious in the power core.
Okay. And we know as long as they're unconscious, they're safe.
Well, they're...
According to the one dude.
You know that they're not going to die from suffocation.
Okay.
They're still in a power core that's controlled by a crazy computer.
Okay.
Or a malfunctioning computer, or computer that's got brain waves, more of them than it should.
Okay, can we contact Deputy Scoff to see if the power core can be turned off?
Yes, you don't actually need to contact Deputy Scoff for that. You know absolutely that the power core can be turned off.
Okay, so I attempt to turn the power core off. How do I do that? Do I just...
So this is moving from one scene to another because the power core is a whole new scene. So that's going to take away that last momentum.
Oh, hang on. We don't leave yet. Kexi doesn't sound too happy with us losing that. Did he have another course of action? Talk to me. Tomorrow's too late.
Can we lock the doors open?
So the panel that leads to the Jeffries tube is not mechanical. It is simply a panel that you remove and then leave on the floor. So a computer cannot close that behind you.
Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm not going to close it up. And then when I get out of the Jeffries tube, I know that the door opened a little. Is there any chance that we can sort of knock that door open some more?
So this door that was slightly opened is back into the computer wing and not directly into the power core, which you need from where you guys are at. If you weren't using a turbo lift, you would need to access it by going through the Jeffries tube.
Okay. Well, we lose our momentum then. That's fine.
All right. Let's head to the room to see if we can turn the power core off.
The power core is a flurry of activity with engineers moving quickly from station to station and barking orders to each other. It looks like the anesthetizing gas was entirely confined to the computer wing, but it seems that whatever you're after does know you're here, and they're trying to prevent anyone from getting access to any key systems. The room is shaped like that of a warp core, with the central power column providing electroplasma to various systems on 4 different levels. The computer screens that are on flash nonsensical warnings, and at various junctures along the network, pipes burst, releasing deadly streams of electroplasma into the atmosphere. I'm going to award myself 2 threat because this is an incredibly dangerous room. You guys can see on the screens, on any of the screens at any given time, there are curious starbursts like multicolored fireworks.
On the screen?
Yes, on the screens that are any of the computer screens that are around that any of the engineers are trying to control things with.
Okay.
So there's 4 switches that you need to be turned off. There is a high complication range, but the difficulty is fairly easy. It's only a difficulty 1, control plus engineering task to turn these computers off.
Okay, control plus engineering, you're up, Kexi.
All right. You said 4 switches?
There are 4 total, so we'll be addressing them one at a time.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm rolling for each one. Okay. Oh, 2 successes.
Awesome. So you generate 1 momentum.
Oh, okay.
And the first switch is off.
Hey.
At that point, when you turn around, it seems like the world goes silent. You can hear actual noises, but you can't sense anybody's thoughts.
Oh no. What? That would be audible for the captain. Because I can't even get him, can I?
You cannot sense his thoughts.
Oh my god.
You cannot
Okay.
sense anybody's thoughts. The world is suddenly and terrifyingly quiet.
Right.
It looks like there are starbursts on another screen. Varun, what are you up to?
I'm investigating the starburst. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I can do to the screen to make any sense of this.
Sure. Go ahead and make a presence plus command task with a difficulty of 2.
My presence
In order
is
to-
8, my command is 3, so that's a 3. That's an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I'm gonna do that again. Sorry. I got a 9 and an 8.
Hey.
So that's 2 successes. So that is... So, Kexi, the world comes flooding back to you, and you can suddenly understand everything all over again. Varun, the world blacks out. You cannot see.
Oh
Okay. Okay.
So the next switch is 1 level down. Are you guys communicating to each other these physical disadvantages?
I guess we should start. Kexi, I'm
I was
blind.
gonna say there was an audible what that came from me when I
Yeah.
hit that switch.
Right. And that led me into the action to start figuring out what was
Right.
going on. But,
Okay.
Kexi, I'm blind. I cannot see. I'll need you to lead me down to the power level. Or I can stay here and you can go down to the level and turn that other switch off. Go ahead and turn that other switch off. I'm going to stay here.
Yeah. Well, except that when I shut the switch off, all of the stuff that I sensed went away. And then when you did whatever you did, mine came back and your sight went away.
if there is any luck, if you do that again, I will get my sight back, and we can figure out how to turn the third switch back on.
Okay.
I get it. I'm with you. I feel your difficulty. Right?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. All right. So you're saying
Okay.
I'm going to the switch.
Because I am blind.
I'm going to tell you before I flip the switch.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sure. Go ahead and make your next difficulty 1 control plus engineering check.
Fliss, I do not like this.
It sounds like you do.
Wait, let me do this the right way. I don't like this.
The Andorian said in her most white girl voice ever.
My antenna wiggle. Not that you can see it.
Yeah, I'm blind. All right.
I critted.
Okay. How many
2 successes?
Okay, is that just 2 successes total? So you've gained
Yes.
another
2
momentum.
successes total with the crit. Okay, and I'm gonna audibly tell him if I have to do it through the communicator that
As soon as you go to audibly tell him anything,
okay.
you find that your voice isn't working. You can't speak. Varun, however, you can see.
Podcast, isn't it?
Okay. Oh my god. Kexi, before you turn the switch off, see if you can bang something next to you. Anything that'll generate some kind of noise so I can hear it. And a loud, deliberate bang.
Okay, I'm gonna.
As you're on your way to your next, to the next switch, I'm going to spend a threat to force you to make a difficulty 2 fitness plus security task to avoid the detonation of an EPS conduit, the rupture of an EPS conduit on your way.
Is that me or?
Yeah, that's Kexi Bay.
Okay.
Provided you're the one who's going to the next level down to get the next
Wait,
switch.
hang on.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's still on the level down, right? The next switch?
Correct.
Okay.
So you would have to go down 2 levels because you're still on the top level, right?
Yes.
Varun is still on the top level?
Yes.
Okay.
Did Varun get his sight back? Sorry, I didn't hear
Yes,
that.
No, I
Varun
did
did
not.
get his sight back.
Oh, I did? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Okay.
Well, I can
Varun
see
did
now.
get his. Varun can see.
I just
Kexi,
can't talk.
Kexi cannot talk.
Oh,
So you
can I?
heard your communicator go off, but nothing. I wouldn't have said anything.
Nothing happened. Correct. Can I go down to be with her? Like
Yeah,
stand next to her?
absolutely.
Okay, great. I would love to do that.
Okay, so you are with her.
I've done that. Yes.
Are you
I'm back with her.
going with her to the next switch?
Yes, because she cannot talk, and
Right.
I would like to see what's going on.
Okay. So both of you then are going to have to make this. This is a difficulty 2 fitness plus security task. So
Okay, we both have to
Varun
do it.
Rai is probably going to be fine. You've got 15 total that you need to get under.
And do I roll 1 or 2 dice?
2 dice, and then Kexi, you are trying to get an 11 or lower on 2 dice.
Yeah.
I got an 18 on both of them.
Good
Oh
God.
no,
And I was about to ask how much momentum we had banked.
I think we
2.
2. Yeah. I'm going to use 1 momentum to roll again. Is that okay, Kexi?
Is that? Let's see.
I'm not gonna fight you about it.
So,
Okay.
in order to do
Wait.
this, let's see.
I think Captain Varun is gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I think re-rolling isn't one of the things
I don't think you're gonna be able to reroll.
by additional
Okay.
d20s.
All right.
So, what you can do though, you can spend a point of determination in order to get an automatic critical success. The challenge with that is you're going to have to use one of your values in order to do it. In this case, I would say probably death is worth saving your crew,
Right.
or no such thing as a no-win scenario.
Right.
Really, any of the first 3. No
Okay.
such thing as a no-win, strong shall survive, or death is worth saving my crew. You can activate that to spend a point of determination using that
And
value.
And now that we're on values, if I use a value once in a mission, I cannot use it again. Is that right?
Correct.
Or can I use it? Okay, so this is the only time I'll get to use it.
Right, and you've got 3 points of determination that you can use this way. But you can get points of determination back if I challenge one of your values.
Okay.
I
will use death as what saving my kingdom.
Okay. So that means that you succeed. You get 2 successes automatically because it purchases you don't have to spend momentum for that. It just adds a bonus d20 to your roll that has already rolled a 1.
Correct. So I get 1 success, or do I get 2?
2. So you successfully avoid. What did you get, Colleen?
I haven't rolled yet. I was going to spend a momentum.
Sure.
11 is a hard sell for me.
Sure.
I got 1 success.
Okay.
And just to be funny, the other 2 dice were both 12s.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got both 18s. It seems like
Right.
it's destined.
It's like, of course, the moment that we're actually going to get hurt is when our dice.
I'm
start
expecting
to
anesthetine gas to be released in my apartment anyway.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You do receive a stress damage from the EPS conduit exploding, and you guys are at the next terminal, and a recording starts playing. It says,
इनका नाम वरुण रॉय, डेट लापता। वक्त आ चुका है, हमारी सबसे बड़ी परीक्षा अब हमारे सामने है। बेडेजर्ट अब डोमिनियन के कस्बे में है और हमें एक नए हथियार की जरूरत है। मुझे प्रोजेक्ट को फिर शुरू करने की ऑथराइजेशन मिल गई है। पेशेंट का नाम इंडिया से वरुण रॉय। एस्टिमेशन है कि ये 300 साल तक सो चुका है। 100 साल पहले हमने एक ऐसे आदमी को उठाया था और बहुत मुश्किल से जाना कि कानूनी सिंह को जिस फ्यूचर में उठाया गया था वो उसके लिए ही नहीं था। पर इस बार वरुण राय को पता नहीं होगा कि वो कौन है और कहां से आया है। उसे हम स्टारफील्ड का एक ऑफिसर बनाएंगे और वो स्टारफील्ड का सबसे बेहतर ऑफिसर बनेगा। वो हमें ये जंग जिताएगा। शायद इसके बाद इसकी भी कोई जिंदगी होगी, शायद उसे फिर कोई परिवार होगा, पर अब के लिए वो हमारे हर एक दुश्मन को हमारे लिए मारेगा, हमारे लिए इस यूनिवर्स से उठा देगा। एंड रिकॉर्ड।
So you can react to that now as needed, and that's what appears on the computer screen as you guys approach the 3rd switch.
Okay, so when you say as I react, I'm frozen in my steps. And Kexi advances, and I am a captain. I'm supposed to be composed at all times, and yet at this moment, the world seems to have come undone. And
any particular emotional turmoil I would be literally getting, because there's no way for me to shut it off.
Sure, sorry, did you want to describe it, or would you like me to?
Sure, yes. There is immense sadness, there is confusion, and there is loss. There is a sense of loss, and there's loss, confusion, and just immense sadness.
Yeah, this loss is deeper than anything that you have felt. That it's deeper than, it reminds you of an amplified version of what you felt when the Falkenberg was lost.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to do the thing that I probably wouldn't normally do. I'm going to kind of smack the captain in his chest. I'm literally going to say, grieve later, grab him and pull him forward with me.
Okay.
Welcome to survival mode.
Okay, and I'm back. Every moment passed like a hammer falling on my head, but that smack brought me back. And the word captain switched me on again. And we're back to turn that switch off.
All right. So we've got switch number 3. You are ready to...
No, I'm not.
make your...
So do we both do this again?
That's up to you. If you want
wait.
to... If you want to...
You got a problem.
What's our problem?
I couldn't have said anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, you smacked him on the chest.
Yeah,
I did hit you in the chest. Okay. I guess I would have thought really loudly, grieve later.
You're telepathic, so you could absolutely still tell him that. Yeah.
It's like shoots in your head, takes these
Yeah.
voice.
I got the message.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, except
Yeah.
All right, next. I forgot what I was rolling.
So
Control
I'm
and
actually,
engineering?
as you're about to do this, I'm spending my last threat.
Oof.
As you reach toward the controls to turn off the third switch, you are frozen in place. You cannot move. Your autonomic functions have ceased.
No.
You're just stuck.
Okay.
The captain will have to make this roll.
All
And
right.
yeah, I mean, hey, look, I'm telepathic.
So
What am I looking for? Am I looking for a reason and
this
engineering?
is control plus engineering.
Okay.
So this is going to be a 10 or
Lower.
10 or lower. Yeah.
And do I have any momentum left?
There's one momentum left.
One left.
What can I use that for? Can I use
You
it
can-
to...
You can use it to buy an extra die.
Okay. And how many successes do I need?
Just one.
Okay. All right. Okay, I've used my momentum. I'm getting another die.
Okay.
I have a 10, a 6, and a 5.
That's 3 successes.
Yay!
You generate 2 momentum and turn off the third computer. Kexi's voice comes back, as do her autonomic functions.
Well, that sucked.
There is only one switch left.
Okay.
Captain, you're fine?
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Where is the next switch?
The next switch is on the very bottom level.
Okay. Kexi, can you do this?
Well, I can try.
Okay, let's go. I'm gonna be right here. I'm going to be coming back with you in
All right.
case we are snapped by Thanos.
Oh goodness. As you approach
Nerds!
final I haven't seen it. Anyway, when you approach the final switch, a ghostly image of a face appears on the computer screen over the Elkar's display.
Is it Uran? Is it Uran?
Whose face?
It
do we see?
is. It's not a face that you recognize.
Oh.
It introduces itself. He says, "I am Ower, a Zatarian. I have been living a life of ultimate power in your bioneural computer systems. I came here more than a century ago with my siblings to survive as a race. We killed many people trying to find new hosts for our bodies. Many of my people left this place in search of another host when those here were found lacking. But I remained, knowing that someone would come back to Memory Alpha, and I would try again. When I found the body of Uran, he was but a child. His body served me for 60 years. When I found the bioneural gel packs, at first I was frustrated because my entire second life's work was threatened. But when I came to the bioneural wing, I discovered that they could hold me and offer me possibilities that no physical form ever could, that no incorporeal form ever could. I am your computer now. I beg you, as one life form to another, please do not end my life."
Hey, Captain, I think I figured out what happened.
Hit me.
Well, let's ask the computer the question. I'm going to murder these names because
Ava and Kiret.
not do that. Did Hiban and Karet discover that you were there? That you were in the
Yes.
system? Did you kill them because they were trying to remove you?
I regret that they had to die, but if I leave now, I'm afraid I will perish.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
So our decision is let me ask another question to the computer. If we is mercy the only option you have? Is the other option we try to kill you and you kill us and this keeps going? or we show mercy on you and let you live.
Or thinks for a moment and says, I am at your mercy now. You have turned off so much of my power. This is the only way I can communicate with you. I have tested your bodies in these last few moments, knowing what you are attempting, and I cannot even take one of them. If you would kill me as punishment for the crimes that I myself and my people have committed, then so be it.
But you can reside in a humanoid body.
If you had experienced ultimate power the way that I have, you would never go back to being a mere mortal.
Everything we have is in these computers. You can't just be mucking about in the computers. We need these.
Is it possible for us to transfer you to another computer?
I exist within the bioneural gel packs. Because my expertise is classical computing, I don't know what effect it would have to transfer me to another computer.
So the other brain pattern we saw in the bioneural gel pack, that was yours?
Yes,
Well, wait, that means you developed the quintilinear data chip.
that's correct. It has
Okay.
been my life's work, my second life's work.
Was the point of that trying to get into a position where you were in a computer?
It was merely to contribute to science, but I realized that such an endeavor was pointless next to the power that I could hold as the computer system, the central repository for all knowledge in the United Federation of Planets. I know everything. I know more about you, Kexi Bay, than you know about yourself.
Captain?
You know more about us than we do ourselves?
Well, that's not really the point of that. What do
I
we...
believe I have already demonstrated that to you, Varun Rai.
Look, this thing is... It's alive. It's not even artificial. It's just alive. If we shut it down, we kill it.
If we let it stay, everything in the Federation is at risk.
It already is.
I want to clarify a point because I don't think that I answered your question very clearly, Shashank. You had asked about transferring him into another computer.
Right.
That is theoretically a sound plan. He does not know if it will work. So there is risk entailed in transferring him to another computer. He is opposed to it because where he is safe. Does that make sense? Okay.
Kexi,
Yeah?
we're going to see if we can transfer him to another computer. There is too much at stake.
I think we need to bring this to the people who run this. I mean, this is a whole planet. It has governance. Let's talk to the governance and see what we can do.
What's the name of the Zetarian?
Oer.
Or
Oehr.
Oer. Okay.
Oer.
Or, if as long as we give you the mercy of being alive, I will need to know that nobody else will be harmed.
I promise, I swear, by whatever life that I have, that no one will come to harm on Memory Alpha as long as I have the power to prevent it.
And or, I need to know that secrets will stay secrets. Just the way Federation wants it to be.
I shall duly maintain the secrets of the Federation of Planets.
All right, let's see if we can bring everybody important on the station and just get them together and see if we can find out how we can keep you alive.
I am agreeable to this. So we're going to go then to Commissioner Goodman's office once again. That's gonna take one momentum away. So we are still at one momentum. We're at 0 threat. Several hours later, you guys find yourselves in Commissioner Goodman's office. You're joined by a much more confident-looking Deputy Scoff, the Vulcan Tanique, the Cardassian engineer, Janir Nar. All due apologies are given where they are appropriate, and you can see the visage of Ower is visible on the computer screen in his office, in Commissioner Goodman's office. As the commissioner listens to everyone's story in turn, he steeples his fingers earnestly. So this scene is basically to role-play out the end of the episode, to figure out what exactly is going on. Tanique suggests that she will take the quintilinear project on by herself from here on out. She still believes there is merit in it, with Ower's blessing. Goodman is very notably against there being a living being in the computer system on Memory Alpha. His position is that Ower has already demonstrated that he is untrustworthy and that he will not be cooperative with Federation or station personnel. This is all a bit above Deputy Scoff's head, technically speaking. And Janine Nar mostly is just there for her apologies. But Janine Nar does turn to Captain Rye and says, if I were to enlist in Starfleet, would you have me on your ship?
There is a place for everyone in Starfleet. That's the belief of Starfleet. You enroll in Starfleet, and it would be my honor to have you on my ship.
You can expect a request for my endorsement shortly. Did you guys...
We
Go
need
ahead.
to try and reason with the commissioner, so...
Okay. Go ahead, Kexi.
Yeah. Commissioner, I honestly believe that the death of those two people was an accident and not intentional. I mean, if you were about to die, or if you knew you were about to die, what would you do to stay alive?
It's important for you to remember, Commissioner, that this is not a virus. This is not a malicious being, an error in a code written with the intent of causing destruction. This thing tells us it has been here for a century. It has been here for a century.
It has inhabited the life. It has inhabited the body of an unwilling host for more than half a century. It is now occupying these binaural gel packs that I didn't even understand to be capable of sentience, much less anything else, and they're definitely not in a position where, even if they are some kind of sentient, they can consent to this. There is absolutely an issue with this Zetarian and the concept of consent. It has no respect for the lives of others. And I cannot trust, based on more than a century of history, more than a century of Starfleet experience with Zetarians, who came to Memory Alpha and killed the entire staff last time they were here. It makes me extremely uncomfortable to have a Zetarian living inside my computer system.
We have learned from the Zetarian that it can be transferred to another machine. We are in Memory Alpha. All the knowledge of Starfleet is here. Are you telling me we cannot build a machine capable of holding a Zetarian being?
I suppose that research is certainly worth exploration. What do we do in the meantime?
You try to coexist. You try to coexist just like you're taught at Starfleet. You try to coexist the way everybody in this galaxy does. The Zetarian... Go ahead.
Commissioner Goodman is not Starfleet. He is Federation, but he's not Starfleet. He's a civilian.
Okay. You try to coexist just like everybody in the Federation does.
Yeah.
And there are crimes that have happened that we will need answers for, but nothing on this galaxy deserves death as punishment.
I can agree with that.
I think,
appreciate your looking into this matter very thoroughly and your level-headedness. Both of you. Memory Alpha is once again indebted to Starfleet for its wisdom and level-headedness in a desperate time. We will try to coexist.
That's all anyone can do.
Indeed. This has been Faraday, a Star Trek tabletop podcast by the Tricorder Transmissions Podcast Network. We play using Modifius's Star Trek Adventures rule system. Star Trek is property of CBS Paramount and was created by Gene Roddenberry. Our theme song, Humanity, was composed by Scott Holmes and is available along with a selection of his other fantastic works on his website at scottholmesmusic.com. Faraday was created by Felicity Quartz Pickens and edited by Lady Cassandra of Sealand. Do you have questions or comments about Faraday? You can find us on Twitter at FaradaySTPod or send us an email at faraday@thetricordertransmissions.com. The Tricorder Transmissions is a community podcast network supported by your donations through Patreon. Subscribe now at patreon.com/thetricordertransmissions to get access to bonus content, hangout sessions, and fancy buttons.